It's very important that everybody knows these circumstances surrounding the Maui wildfires. In order to avoid this video...
Now this is getting bad, y'all.
I'm going to simply state the facts and not give my opinion.
Do not give up Maui. Do not let them take your land. They are giving eviction notices to people whose houses didn't burn down. That shouldn't be legal. The court took time to write an eviction notice. I knew there was evil in this world, but Jesus Christ. The landlord had to go to the court, file a petition, and then managed to get that done in under a fucking week, and we can't get aid? Evict somebody?
LAHAINA, Maui, Wildfire, and locals facing intense challenges before a massive rebuild effort, while preparing for a big fight against the local and allegedly corrupt governor, police chief, fire department, and the White House.
Also authorized one-time payments of $700 per household to folks who've been displaced, so they can do the immediate things of just taking care of medications and prescriptions that they so badly need.
We are well aware. Why do you think we're so angry? The governor is an idiot. We all know that the politicians have like their own agenda.
Investors and speculators going around calling our victims, offering to give them cash and buy their property. It is disgusting. It's a land grab, and I know that our Lahaina community, we are resilient, and we will do whatever it takes to protect Lahaina.
No comment?
No comment right now, guys. No comment? Yeah. I'm not talking to the chief, sir. Yeah. Why doesn't he want to speak to the people? We do know, as a collective, the people of Hawaii know that the governor, the government in general, is not on our side.
There you have it, folks. The Hawaiian government's own website says that the sirens should be used for fires. Those sirens are supposed to be used for multiple types of disasters.
And they haven't been. Ever since they took over. I don't know if people from the mainland like learn about that in history, but the United States illegally occupied us.
You're in an informational black hole. I don't know that Joe Biden's message has even reached the people of West Maui. But I will say this. I saw that $700 is going to be sent to the families of Lahaina. Now, I just did some quick math, Pete. There's about 13,000 residents of Lahaina.
There are people who stood up in the midst of this tragedy and did everything they could to help each other. The sad part is we are 8 days past this wildfire, and I'm in constant touch with these community members and leaders. They are still not seeing response from the county, the state, the federal government to be able to go out and help them. The community support hubs that they have are 100% community led.
Why are you shaking your head? Why are you shaking your head? You don't want to answer, no? Okay.
Something other time, guys.
Yeah, you won't talk to us another time. That's the thing. It's a very coward thing. It's shocking.
Was about 13,000 residents of Lahaina. Times $700, that's $1.9 million. I think this week we announced another $40 billion for Ukraine. I'm not sure where we are at this point, Pete, but I believe it's something like 140 billion total for Ukraine. And last I checked, this is the United States of America, as is East Palestine, Ohio. So I don't know why it's so hard, comparatively, to rally for America and so easy, comparatively, to support Ukraine.
So we're angry. And our government doesn't help us. The people that are in charge doesn't help us. And that's something that we've had to live with for decades.
Yeah, the forgotten men and women on an island, forgotten today by the administration, distracted by so many other things.
We plan to have a seat at the table in rebuilding Lahaina and ensuring that the rich cultural history of Lahaina is protected and that the multi-generational families get to come back home.
With a measly $700 household stimulus check extended to the victims on the tail end of requesting another $40 billion for Ukraine. But wait, there's more. Suspect dead after hours-long standoff in Pittsburgh after deputies tried to evict him. Another family in Charlotte, North Carolina is getting ready to be thrown out on the street even after filing complaints about flooding, sewage, and burglaries. Eviction notice soon to follow. A family says it's been dealing with one problem after another in their Northwest Charlotte apartment over the past year, and now the landlord wants them out. Tori Vance says it all started when her apartment in the Atlantic Mountain Island flooded late last year, and I quote, "I have now a chronic mold issue that's causing ailments to my smaller baby more than anybody else, but also my other children," end quote. That's what she said. Then she told police she had not one, but 2 break-ins. She also says sewage started backing up in my guest bathroom, into my toilet, and into my bathtub. Physically debilitating. That's how bad it had gotten. And she says more than 3 weeks went by and her complex wouldn't fix it, so she paid more than $800 to hire someone else herself. Quote, they had informed her they were going to offset her total rent by the amount she had to pay out of pocket to repair the apartment. They never did this, end quote. And that was from her lawyer, Cameron DeBrune. And he says that Vance waited and didn't pay rent. Then the landlord started the eviction process. Oh my God, it's so frustrating, she said. Her lawyer, DeBrune, filed a counterclaim saying the company is trying to evict her in retaliation for her complaints. Quote, it's been a nightmare for this family. And a missing man from Cape Coral, Florida is facing an eviction notice too. Barry Schmalbach was last seen on July 19, and his sister, Emily, said she's doing the best she can from all the way up in Chicago. She said, you hope for the best still. You have to hope, because if you don't have hope, there's nothing left. But the grim truth and reality is that despite the tragedy of loss, the rent still has to be paid, and landlords are typically considered to be heartless, greedy, money-hungry people with only one primary objective: to get paid or get rid of the tenants who don't pay, even if it's just one day late. And this is why we have a housing affordability problem while the housing market is in a reverse crash course. That is, continuously driving prices up with interest rates going up alongside. I mean, honestly now, if you don't have $1 million+ budget, then you're more than likely going to be without a home, homeless, or a lifelong renter. While this local story hits close to home for me, massive brawl breaks out at Crab Island. For the second time in less than a week, we have another video of a fight at Crab Island in Destin, Florida, where a large fight broke out in the shallow water of Crab Island, where many people go to relax and enjoy the water. And between 2 large parties, and this fight was ugly. Now you can see people being punched and pushed down in the water, and at one point a man jumped on a boat to go after somebody else. While 2 people were fighting, you see one man grab a glass bottle and hit someone on the head with it. The news article states that there's no explanation as to why the fight started. But again, it's sad to see this type of behavior when people are out there attempting to enjoy their vacation. And while there may not be much security at the popular sandbar in Destin, Florida, I do anticipate that you'll soon see more security on the water after these 2 incidents. Here, take a look at this video clip of the fight captured by another person just out there trying to enjoy their day or vacation at the popular Okaloosa County pontoon boat anchoring and party meetup point. Here, check it out. All right, but warning, some may find the actions and language in the video to be offensive.
Cover your ears, baby.
So, you've been warned. Now, I want you all to pay very close attention and see if you can spot a common occurrence in this video. Okay, here, watch. And here I thought black people couldn't swim. Damn, he cracked that bottle over that man's head. Party foul. What a waste of good liquor. Well, I mean, honestly, who am I kidding? It was probably a $20 bottle of Pinnacle vodka or some low-grade Hennessy off-brand cognac. I mean, it's amazing to see black people make such amazing strides in progress in both directions, literally at the same time. I mean, it seems like the only time we can come together is when we are actually fighting each other. Tragic. And this isn't the first fight we've seen from the popular stop in Destin, Florida this summer. Sadly, this fight broke out in the exact same location just a few weeks ago. So now, people need to be on the lookout for sharks in the water.
Whoa, he's big.
Hammerhead at Crab Island.
Bears in the water too. High levels of fecal matter that are making our oceans unsafe to be in, plus angry mobs of pontoon boat renters who are likely going to lose their deposits and see their prepaid Symphony MasterCard limit maxed out. And watch out for broken glass embedded in the sand now too. I mean, this is really upsetting for me and also a reason why I steer clear of Crab Island altogether. So you see, the pontoon boat rental companies, what they do is they limit and restrict the areas that their boats are allowed to go. So we typically end up in those areas where they can't go, where we know we won't be bothered, and pretty much avoid peak times, weekends, and pretty much all of summer and major holiday weekends altogether. I mean, we spent the summer driving around the country and going to Canada instead of hanging out at Crab Island. If that makes any sense. And as of recording this video, police are still in search of these suspects. And the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office is asking 2 wanted men to turn themselves in. OCSO says they're both connected to a Crab Island brawl that happened July 29. And OCSO has put out felony warrants for and are charging 2 men with aggravated battery. Tyravian Miller, 30, of Gulfport, Mississippi, and Odell Brown, 34, of Lawrenceville, Georgia. And speaking of Georgia and felony charges, Trump mugshot photos have been released, ladies and gentlemen. And CNBC reports that Former President Donald Trump was booked on charges that he conspired to overturn the results of Georgia's 2020 presidential election. Kind of looks like these teens' mugshots photos here. So Where News 3 reports an egging prank gone wrong left one man dead and 3 teens charged with murder. And the Spalding County Sheriff's Office in Georgia said in a news release, units were initially called to the scene Monday for a man down. They found one shooting victim who was pronounced dead at the scene. He had no ID, but was later identified as Jonathan Gilbert. After talking to witnesses, deputies started searching for the suspects and eventually tracking down the car and the gun that they say were used in the crime. They arrested 18-year-old Sydney Moggan, 18-year-old Jeremy Munson, and 19-year-old Mackenzie Davenport. Further investigation revealed the incident started as an ongoing lover's quarrel, the release states, with the suspects reportedly deciding to vandalize Gilbert's house by egging it. And when he saw what they were doing, police say the victim came out of his home to confront them unarmed. The teens ran back to their car as he approached them, and that's when Moggan allegedly pulled a gun from the backseat and shot Gilbert multiple times. They left him in the driveway and fled the scene, and all 3 face charges of murder, malice murder, battery, and criminal trespass. And Moggan's battery charge is considered a crime of family violence, as Moggan and Munson are also charged with aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during a commission of a crime. And Spalding County Sheriff Daryl Dick said, because they all plotted and planned together and traveled to the location with the intent to commit a crime that led up to the murder together, they are all culpable, just as if they had each pulled the trigger themselves. And so, together, they bought that ticket. Now, together, they can ride that ride. Man, so glad we left and moved out of Georgia to come down here to Florida. And despite the one-off incident and wild brawl at Crab Island, I still feel much better here, especially since those people don't live here, and odds are likely there will be a prepared plan to keep them and others unwanted and not welcome here away, likely tied to and connected directly with prices, inflation, taxes, charges, and other fees that will help shape, mold, and dictate the possible visitors and attract a more affluent clientele. I'd be willing to bet more people are going to be looking to escape the chaos, especially now that we know that Biden plans to send America back into lockdown. Take a look at the screen while I read this to you from Yahoo News. Just this week, an Atlanta college announced that they will reinstate mask mandates for students and faculty at their university. The Lionsgate Film Studio in Los Angeles has told their crews to wear masks again. The Biden administration is buying COVID equipment and hiring pandemic safety protocol officers, and the federal government is also sending $1.4 billion to defense contractors and pharmaceutical companies for more countermeasures. And does the lunacy ever stop?
Here's the thing. Why are we in this mess? Part of it, and a major reason, is because how this federal government handled COVID-19 by locking down this economy. It was a mistake. It should have never happened. And in Florida, we led the country out of lockdown. We kept our state free and open. And I can tell you this, as your president, I will never let the deep state bureaucrats lock you down. You don't take somebody like Fauci and coddle him. You bring Fauci in, you sit him down, and you say, Anthony, you are fired.
Now, I covered this in great detail on another video just here recently, and I encourage you to check it out and watch it after you're done watching this video. And this is exactly what I was talking about during our live stream at the beach. Although it is kind of hot, but it's not terribly hot, and we're going to go get a beverage.
Thank you to Deborah.
Yeah, for
Appreciate
sure.
it, seriously.
But seriously though, we got to go vote. You got to go vote. Like, you know, we know that, you know, the time is approaching. We're getting up to that point, and eventually this is going to be a deciding point and pivotal change potentially in the next 4 years. And we can't let that time go by only to then, for the next 4 years, complain about the situation that we're in if we didn't actually try to do something about it.
Agree.
So we have to get out there and put an end to this. And it starts with voting this crap out of the White House. Now, I don't think we can take another 4 years of this. Do you? I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you all. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I really look forward to reading all your comments, and I'll follow up with a new video soon. Take care, be safe, stay informed, and have yourself a wonderful, amazing, and a fantastic day.